One example of an automation that maybe people don't think about is, people think a lot about automations for like generating content or generating messaging. Help, we do cold outreach, so we use the output is therefore the messaging. But you can also use AI to do judgment calls. But if you use AI for judgment calls, it's really important that you add the judgment at the end of a step-by-step thinking process. So first let me explain the reason, and I'll explain how you do it. The reason why it's really important is that AI has a lot of the same problems that humans do, which is essentially confirmation bias. If we make, a lot of times we think we're making a decision, but the reality is we've kind of already made a decision inside of our gut, and then we start with that, and then we justify along the way. But if we hold off and say, wait, let me not make a decision now, let me just kind of think through all the pros and cons, probably we're going to have a better decision at the end of that process. And so it's the same thing with AI. If you, for instance, if you want to say, hey, is this client a good prospect? Is this lead a good prospect? If you just have it do a yes, no, and just and you can feed it all the data, but if its single output is a yes, no, it didn't really put a lot of thought into that answer. And frankly, I would think that it would be kind of useless. Instead, if you ask AI, like, give me a list of 5 pros, give me a list of 5 cons, now weight those 5 pros and cons, now, and so this is chain prompting, we have to do it step by step, and then at the very end, you then say, give me a yes, no, and then you can just have it, because maybe you need a binary yes, no in order to feed the next automation, so like, if yes, then trigger blah, 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 so you don't want to give a long answer afterwards, you just, boil it down to a yes, no. You can do that at the end of its chain of thought. And that's why also like a lot of prompt engineers are using the phrase, let's think about this step by step, because that's a phrase that helps trigger the AI to think through the logic before arriving to the answer. It's the same idea. So I wanted to give that example as like another path other than just content creation that you can use AI for.